I might do it for the culture.
Hi, welcome to For the Culture Canada. I'm your host, Bede, and today I have somebody that's been making quite a scene here in the Okanagan, at least, and also in the Vancouver scene in the fashion world. And she goes by Bede. She has a fashion line called Designs by Bede. And what I really like about it personally is just kind of like the one-of-a-kind, ethical fashion choices that they make, right? So what she does, for example, is just get her own fabrics and make her own sort of styles. And I really like that. I've been kind of in like this existential conundrum of should I just go buy clothes that are cheap from like Uniqlo or whatever, or should I go thrifting? I have no idea. Or should I just get designer stuff and just resell it later? I have no idea. And so I'm really happy to have her on the show and pick her brain a little bit and see what's up. So, hey, how's it going? I know I've asked you this before.
Yeah, but, well, you know.
It is what it is, whatever.
I'm good. I love how you mentioned how you never know if you should buy cheap or like, ethically or like all that stuff, because I've always had the same struggle.
Yeah, it's been running on my mind like so much lately. And so I'm just like, I don't know what to do. What's your stance on this?
Well, it's pretty tricky because the fashion industry is like based off of consumerism, right?
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to your purchases, the best is to just look for like sustainably made or like at least ethically made or even just like organic fibers so that it actually decomposes.
Right.
But yeah, that's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, we'll have the time to talk about it today. So like put in whatever input you'd like. Now, was I correct that you started here in the Okanagan, or is that not the case? Tell me your backstory.
So I'm actually from Saskatchewan, and then I moved out to Kelowna and I started going to school. And so I got my diploma in fashion design and merchandising, and I've always wanted to have my own business. So I was like, okay, let's do like a little soft, like start. And so I was just kind of playing around, finding out kind of like my niche and what I liked and how I could incorporate my values in such a crazy industry. But yeah, it did start technically in Kelowna, but I really like amped it up when I moved to Vancouver.
Right. And did you graduate from OC?
No, actually, like Cato?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a fashion diploma at the time, and
really?
I just really wanted like, yeah, it's crazy because they don't anymore, but I wanted somewhere that was like manageable, and because I moved from like literally my town was 16,000 people, so I was like, Kelowna's a good little like in between spot to get used to big cities and stuff. Then I had a little bit of family out there.
Right.
Yeah, but the program ended right after I finished it, and there was only 3 people in it. So it was super dope, actually. I just got to like do whatever I wanted, learn everything that I needed to, and which was super helpful actually because I could just like cram as much as possible, and I didn't really follow too much of like the outline.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you have said that it's worth it to have gone then?
If you don't know how to sew, I would definitely suggest going to get some kind of education just so you can know like the industry standards. But if you feel really comfortable and confident in your abilities and like love to Google, then no, I don't think you need it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you get into fashion in the first place?
I don't even know. I like swear I was born like this. Like in grade 4, drawing pictures. I think it was grade 4, and I was like, I'm gonna have my own boutique called Is, because it's gonna be like, it's the best. Like these clothes Bede is the best. Like little like funny grade 4 slogans.
Right. That's so funny. Did you do anything like back then? Did you actually have any things made, shirts, dresses?
I've always been pretty creative, so I like knitted a lot when I was like that young.
Right.
But when I got a bit older, I tried to like cut things up and then sew them by hand, but like not really realizing that sewing pants or like a whole shirt by hand takes forever.
Really?
Yeah. So like if you don't have a sewing machine, it's just like the slowest process, and I get really impatient sometimes. So I was just like fucking around all the time. Oh, sorry. Can I swear? Is that fine?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, cool. But then I think it was about in grade 8 that I started like actually repurposing clothes and sewing things, and like it actually be like you could actually wear it.
Right. What was the style like back then?
So some of like my first like products that I was really proud of when I was younger was just like repurposing like vintage jackets and stuff into skirts, or like I made a beret once, and it was just like random things. It wasn't like an actual style. But
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't until like I'd say a year ago that I really like started being like, okay, I want to be sustainable, like make it out of scraps or like dead stock fabrics, you know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you do that switch into ethical fabrics and things like that?
Well, it was because like I don't think I could even like function in this industry if it wasn't. Like I just felt so bad being like, okay, like this fabric is made and pollutes the environment, and it's probably made not very ethically. Like when I buy it, like just from like a regular fabric store, and then I'd be like, and then on top of that, like I don't know, it's not good once it's like done. Like people probably just throw it out. Like obviously, like not right away, but so with the sustainable, I try and like find fabrics that factories have gotten rid of and don't really need, but like, you know, it's like not enough to really do anything with. Or I work for this other brand, and so whatever scraps they have, I sometimes collect and make like one-up pieces, which is really cool. So it's like 3 times sustainably made or whatever.
Oh, crazy. That's super
Yeah.
sick. That's super sick. So how has your style kind of evolved over time?
I'd say at the start, it was like women's wear and just things that I could kind of like fit into because I was using myself as like a form,
Right.
to base like the size and the patterns off. And then I was like experimenting also with like graphics and t-shirts and like, trying to figure out a way to incorporate like getting prints on t-shirts, but like still keeping it sustainable. But like it was a weird balance because a lot of places won't take like vintage tees and like print them for you. And then after like I figured out that like that wasn't really like the move. Like I'm not a graphic designer, like so I don't know why I'd really want to be on that.
Right.
But I really, really enjoy the process of like cutting things up and sewing it and figuring out the best fit and like the whole hands-on process. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
So trying to think. So then I guess it was more recent that I was like, okay, let's do like a few unisex pieces, mainly women's wear, and just experiment with letting the fabric tell you how to like make it. Like a lot of the time, like even today when I went to the fabric store, I had these ideas in my head and I saw like the most beautiful like patterns and like textures, and I was like, yo, so this wants to be a bathing suit, this wants to be some pants. And I was like, I guess that's what we're doing.
Sick. Cool.
Yeah. I'm about to, well, once I start getting to work a little bit more with these new fabrics, I'm about to release like some bike shorts, some cute little tops, some nice things for summer, and then I guess now a small bathing suit line.
Sick.
Should be dope. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Bikinis.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, totally.
But sorry, go on. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think what I really enjoy doing with the brand right now is focusing on denim and like using it for everything. Like I just made a denim string bikini and people love it. It's so cute.
Yeah. I mean, would you actually go into the water with something like that?
Well, it's more like poolside. Like when you get a little bit older and you're like, you know, by the ocean, not a lot of people actually go swimming. So
right.
Just to look cute, honestly. I mean, if you wanted to swim, you probably could. It's so small, you probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
It's not water resistant.
Probably get a little heavy in the water though too, hey?
Yeah, it might.
I mean,
yeah.
By the way, I love biker shorts. I love it when my girlfriend wears them. I think they look so good. If I was a girl, I would wear biker shorts all the time.
Yeah, you can wear biker shorts right now.
As a dude?
Fashion has no gender. Yeah, as a dude. You wanted to. Obviously, the fit would be, you'd have to get a little like finesse, but.
Well, see, the thing about it is that like biker shorts, I don't know. I think that there's just like a whole lot of stuff there.
Like it's too tight.
There's just so much stuff there that I'm just like.
That's fair.
Yeah. I feel like I'd get arrested if I wore that. You know what I mean? But
totally.
like what I'm looking for, to be honest, like what I'm looking for is like when I see like athletes in like the 90s, like photos of them wearing like thigh high shorts with like white tees or like.
Yo, the short shirts are fire.
They're so sick. I have no idea where to get them though.
Oh, like, where could I? I don't even know. Maybe like if you wanted something cheap, obviously you could do like AliExpress. Like they have everything. But like don't do that because it's bad. Bad for the environment, but easy to find things.
Right. One of my favorite looks is like getting like really colorful shorts. Like I would love to rock purple, yellow, red, green, like all sorts of stuff. And then just like a white tee on top is just like, I don't know, I think it's a really good look.
Yeah, white's super easy to like keep it nice and calm when you got the bright colors underneath.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So also, where does your inspiration from fashion come from? Or is it just all just kind of like whatever comes to mind?
I think I look to like the past a lot. And so like right now I'm like, I adore the 70s. I've always adored the 70s and like 60s and those kind of silhouettes and just the style. But a lot of the time too, when I make a new piece, it just kind of pops into my head and I'll be doing something really random and all of a sudden I'll be like, I have to make this or else I cannot stop thinking about it. Like it gets like almost like obsessed with. I'm like, I need to go home and like sew this right now.
Right. That's sick.
Yeah.
Is it like a long process to make like a particular item of clothing? Like sort of like those patchwork denim pants that you've shown online?
Yeah, those took a long time. Those took like maybe 6 to 8 hours nonstop.
Damn.
But no pattern. Like there was no pattern. There was no like all those strap pieces were like this big.
Right.
And so I had to like, and I'd like switch it out sometimes and be like, oh, that pocket looks bad next to that shade of blue. Like, yeah, I had to puzzle it together. But once you get into the flow of it, you can't even tell the time's going by.
Right. Yeah.
It feels quick.
Yeah, that's how I feel with a lot of my projects too.
I think that's how all creatives get. It's like once you get into it, like you could go forever.
Oh, totally. Sometimes, and then reality kicks in and you have to like eat a snack or like go to the bathroom. It's like the most annoying thing ever. That's
literally me. I get hangry. Like it's terrible. The level of hanger I get too. Because I'll always just forget. I'll be like, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, yo, don't even talk to me. I need to eat.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So I wanted to kind of, just like what we were mentioning earlier, I wanted to kind of get into how does somebody go into like getting ethical clothing if that is a concern for them, and like what's your stance on things like fast fashion and those kinds of things?
Ooh, good question. I think the fashion industry needs to be revolutionized. I think fast fashion isn't, obviously it's not sustainable at all. So I think a way to switch that would be just everybody doing their part in changing where they spend their money and supporting either different brands or going out on their own and trying to find secondhand clothes. Even like, and I get the allure to the fast fashion because it's so cheap, right? And styles come out so quickly. But the one thing to think about when you're buying fast fashion, just to like kind of ease your mind and like your need to consume, is like everything they produce is trends, like quick trends. So you can look at it and be like, yo, that's fire right now, but like in a month, it can be dead. So it's better to just invest your money into classic pieces. That's like a little trick sometimes I use to like just make my mind stop thinking about like, oh, that's so cute. So cute and cheap. But then like on the other hand, obviously you have like the sustainability aspect. And so shopping sustainably really looks like choosing certain brands based off your research, right?
Right.
Or like thrifting, or you can even just repurpose all the stuff you have in your house. Like there's really easy little projects you can do with honestly anything. Yeah, I've started to like go through all my clothes in my house because a lot of the fabric stores are closed.
Right.
And so this morning I'm like gonna let out a little video on how to make bike shorts from like literally anything you have in your house, like as long as it's stretchy. Yeah, it's super easy. Don't even need a pattern. Yo, I got you guys. Like, yeah, I just recorded it this morning, so I'm hoping to edit it and have it out in a little bit. It's just super quick though.
Right.
Yeah, but right now, like I'm noticing a lot more sustainable brands emerge. Mm-hmm. And then another really cool thing is I'm noticing a lot more reworking brands. So like even just like like the littlest things can be changed on it, and like all of a sudden it's super fire. Like I've seen like people be like printing things on like just old Levi denim jeans.
Yeah.
And it's fire. It's fire though. So I love it. I'm like in full support of it. But yeah, it's just about making that switch, because once you make it, it's so easy to keep it up. Right. And like, yeah. But I just had a little thing just pop into my head, but it's gone now.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I was gonna say,
yeah,
when I was going to school, the coolest thing happened. My prof, she made 2 dresses and wore them every single day for a year.
As like a statement, or just to kind of like prove a point?
I think it was more to prove a point, because like obviously our culture is so based around consumerism and capitalism, and like the only reason we want to buy so much is because like we're tricked into it, to be honest, right?
Right.
So she was like, if I can wear the same and it was the same style dress, it wasn't even a different style dress, to every single event I go to every single day, like, and then she had a blog about it too. She's like, hopefully I can inspire other people to just do it as well, right?
Yeah. And
so it's all about just like using what you have to create the looks you want.
Crazy.
And it was super cool. She had like, she wore it with like jeans, or she'd wear it like, she dress it up, dress it down, and like that's what I'm talking about. Like classic pieces, you can wear to anything. You just have to have the accessories for it, like a black dress. It's good for all the events, everything.
It's timeless.
Timeless, classic, perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I like to look at that kind of stuff. I find that personally, I look at my wardrobe, and I'm getting to a point right now where I haven't bought anything new for at least, I don't know, like maybe 6 months or something like that. And I'm just like, I hate everything. I hate all of it. I literally want to get rid of everything except maybe like 4 or 5 things, and that's it. And I'm just kind of now in this place of, I mean, I like Uniqlo. I think their clothes look kind of cool, but we don't have one in Kelowna. And then there's also thrifting, but I just don't find that thrift shops have a whole lot of great variety for men's clothing here. Like
that's true.
There's like in a smaller town, it's just not that fashion forward. Women though, it's another hand though. Like Lost Together is sick consignment.
Yeah, it's fire.
I got this hat from Lost Together, and it's so sick.
So cool.
Yeah, but there aren't a whole lot of like fashion forward men's thrift stores or consignment stores here.
Something you might be into is like vintage resale. Like there's so many people in Vancouver. I don't know if it's just like the circle I run in, or if it's just like really big over here.
Yeah.
But there's just unreal pieces being posted, and the price varies. Like obviously some things can be like super affordable, like cheap, like $10-15. And then I've seen like really old like band tees for like $800. It's wild. I love it though. I love it, but it's wild.
Damn. I don't know if I could drop $800 for a t-shirt.
No. But like if you think about it, people are spending like that on like Off-White.
True.
And to be honest, I'm not super here for Off-White. Because it's just like everybody's got it. It's like where's the value? If everybody's wearing it, how is that, showing your unique personality?
True.
Just showing the trends.
True. And I kind of feel that when I see people wearing like the classic Gucci cap with like the red and green and the brown, all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, it's cool that you like spent that money. I mean, you can do whatever you want with it, but it just doesn't mean anything to me,
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's your stance on designer brands like that?
For me, like, I like to focus more on like color and the way that people are expressing themselves through what they wear. So like when I see people wearing the designer, I just kind of like I don't want to, like, not in a bad way, but y'all just get like placed into like the same little area, I'm like, okay, you have money, you got some LV on, I see your Nike, cool, but like, was there effort? How do you feel? What do you like? Like it's just, I feel like some designers are just getting so generic, and like there's just no there's nothing like really special anymore about it. Like I well, at least when I was younger, but I feel like in the past it was more like when you had designer, you were like you were excited about it. You were like, this is my first designer bag, oh my gosh. Like nobody else has it, I'm just treating myself, shit, I'm gonna have this for like the next like 60 years because it's of quality and like it's just like wow. And now I feel like people are like, oh, let me get that LV bag, and oh, by the way, I want that one, and it's just so quick, and they're like, I don't like it anymore, it's out of season. And it's just like, I think it's better to invest your money in special things and like focus what you wear on like how you're gonna express yourself. And like I think it's so fire when people come out with like yellow hair and like polka dotted shirts and like weird like I love seeing crazy outfits. It's just I think it's so inspiring. I'm like, you are you, and that is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Dennis Rodman. To me, is like one of the coolest. Yes. He's so sick. I love his looks.
Wears whatever he wants. Like, it's amazing. Does whatever he wants. Wears whatever he wants. Like, dope.
Yeah,
love it.
I saw this picture of him wearing like this like really sick tie-dye like blue shirt with like American flag pants and like some old Timberlands, and it's so sick. Like,
right?
I love.
And that's the thing too, like with it doesn't matter what you're wearing as long as you just mush it together, and then all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, how'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly. And plus I don't necessarily like the rule of you can't have two alternate patterns. Like that's stupid. That's a stupid rule.
Yes. Yes.
It's a dumb rule. And I just think that it's not necessarily about the brand. I don't necessarily think it's about the piece. Particularly for me, I like to see how colors and compositions complement each other on that person.
Exactly.
That's how I like to look at it.
And I think there's like with the whole with the color thing and the pattern thing. I was listening to a podcast on business of fashion. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but they were talking about. I think they had a guest speaker. I can't remember his name, but they were talking about how color and pattern or mixing patterns is associated with people who immigrated to like America. And so when that happened, like back in the day, you know, when the country started to grow, they wanted it to be like more like black and white clothes because that's like businessy. That's very like, you know, like the people of privilege and the people who have all the money are like very like this, and they didn't want to celebrate the immigrants, which is like I think is crazy because everybody's culture is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like those kind of weird like little history like associations with how we dress today is crazy because so many people don't even know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no idea.
No, I didn't either until I heard that, and I was like, I guess that makes sense. Like, why don't you just like there's so many ways society represses people, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wish that I saw more people representing their ethnic background. I think it's like the coolest thing when people represent like their own country's colors or like this or that. Like when I see, for example, Jerome Blake, he just recently posted a picture of himself with Jamaica's colors, and I'm like, that is sick. That is so sick.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm friends with him.
Yeah. And I'm trying my best to like kind of get into what India has got going on, right? Like I'm trying to do my best to understand what that's all about and represent those colors too. And I just wish that like everybody kind of like went into it, you know, like white people, Asian people, brown people, black people. I just think that adding more variety into the way that we dress would be really important, I think, for the fashion world, to be honest.
Totally. And I think that it's all about like celebrating everybody, celebrating yourself.
Yep.
Being happy with like what you have, you know, not needing to change anything.
Yep.
Or maybe change if you want. I think I was learning about another trend that the fashion industry might go into. Well, not trend, I guess, but way that it might evolve is to just make kind of like have the fashion industry be unisex or gender neutral, I guess. So
right.
I was listening to a different podcast and somebody was talking about how important that is. And I honestly think that that's fire. I think it should be.
Yeah.
And especially because like guys have like historically worn heels and skirts and stuff like that. And the only reason that the fashion industry is gendered is well, obviously capitalism, but then also it has to do with repressing women.
Yeah.
Is what I was learning about.
Yeah.
And how like dressing femininely is associated with certain things, so you shouldn't if you're like, you know, it's just like the things you learn, it's mind-blowing the more you look into it.
100%, 100%. And as a dude, like growing up, you're taught certain things, right? Like, you don't want to express your feelings too much. You don't want to paint your fingernails.
Yeah.
You know, femininity is not necessarily something that you want to embrace. But like my idols, though, that I've looked up to, say, for example, Kurt Cobain, right? He's a really big example of wearing dresses while, you know, doing whatever he wants to do, right? He's a big fashion icon. He was the first guy to wear like clout goggles, which is played out right now. It's totally played out right now. But he had amazing fashion sense that is totally permeated in today's world, right? You see a lot You see a lot of rappers wearing like grungy kind of apparel, right? Lil Uzi Vert's all about that kind of thing. And I wish that I could personally embrace androgyny, but I just don't think that I have the body composition for it.
Well, of course it's a preference. Like, you can't do it all. As long as you're happy and you like what you wear, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the band The Garden?
I don't think I have.
There are a couple of twins from California, and they make some like really sick punk music. It's just those two, and they pull off androgyny really well. They do a really good job of it. Yeah, and they have like a really great fashion sense of all sorts of different types of styles and stuff. And so I think those guys are great. I think the whole like acceptance of androgyny in like such a mass scale is beautiful because like David Bowie started it, and like it's sick. It's so sick.
It's totally sick.
Yeah,
big fan of it.
Hell yeah. One thing that speaking of like expressing yourself, one piece of clothing that I thought you did really well was the acid wash t-shirt. I still have yet to buy one.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah. I thought it was really sick. The like blue one and the pink one really caught my eye. Those ones are really sick.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, when I was making those, I honestly forgot about them until you just mentioned them now. But last summer I started doing those guys because I wanted to supply some items that men could wear or masculine people would be more interested in. Because before I was doing a lot of women's wear, but I was seeing that I had a lot of male supporters or masculine people, you know.
Right.
And they were wanting like me to create something for them, and I had nothing, so I was like, okay, what can I do that's like, you know, in style and that'll fit anybody.
Right. So I noticed that like on your website, everything is one of one, right? Like all the denim and like et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I need to update it. Shit.
So like, I mean, does that particularly mean that when somebody orders an item, you have to like literally make it on the spot and then just like ship it out, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I like to have a few. Like, the ones that are on the site right now are one of ones, but occasionally, like, depending on the piece, I'll have a few, like, a size run. But I really like to involve my consumer in the design process. So, like, I love it when people DM me and they're like, yo, can you make me that, but mix with that piece? And, like, this is my size. I think it's great.
Oh, sick.
And, yeah. So I get a lot of DMs of people just being like, what, can you do this? And I'm like, of course. Like, let's figure it out. Or, like, I have somebody from Saskatchewan sending me like some ripped up pants, and he's like, you can do whatever you want to them, and then I'll pay for it all, and then you send them back to me and just like enjoy yourself. And I was like so many ideas just pop into my head when people are like that, and I love it because it like allows me to be more creative than like a business kind of woman.
Right.
And I think that's like the part that I love the most.
Oh, crazy. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that people actually sent requests to you like that, because I've always had some ideas in my mind about what I would like.
Yeah.
I've been really into like patterned pants. I love having stuff with like, I'd love to have jeans, for example, with just like gold dots all over, or like I just want to walk around and my pants look shimmery.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so sick. So like, I have no idea how to pull that off. So like, I mean, if you could help me with that, that'd be dope. I'll pay you whatever.
Yeah. Let me know. I got you.
Hell
we can totally figure something out.
Hell yeah.
And I think something really cool with that is that it makes people more excited to wear it too, right?
100%.
Yeah, and that's like also like my favorite thing is when somebody buys something, or even like when I give somebody a garment and they're like, yo, I'm so excited, and they're like posting about it, and they're like, thank you, it's like my new favorite shirt. I'm just like, you're welcome, I'm happy you went to a good home. Like, I'd rather go to a good home like than somebody be like, thank
True.
you for the shirt. Yeah. So like often if people DM me, like I don't even mind. I like give them a little deal. I'm like, yo, take it. Like I'll give you, it's on sale. It's on sale. I love your excitement.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think that you'd open that up to
Yeah.
like a full-time thing, like Bede's custom apparel or anything like that?
I think eventually, I think that'd be dope. I'd love to be able to live off of just me creating.
It's always the
So
dream.
one day, eventually, but I still have lots to learn in terms of just like being in the fashion industry in general and growing like a business.
Right.
So I'm trying like right now I work for a different brand, so I'm using that as an opportunity to really learn about, you know, running a startup and scaling it and getting investors and, you know, manufacturing across seas and whatnot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, when you're still growing and learning and everything like that, it's an important step to have.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so eventually I'll be able to apply that to my brand.
Right. Like, let's say, for example, tomorrow you had your ideal brand. You didn't have to worry about like losses or profits or anything like that, but you could just sort of be like, this is what the brand stands for. This is what it's about. What would that be for you?
Oh, like what's like my call to action or whatever?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we yeah.
whatever. So like my mission statement. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I would say Designs by Bede is a brand that wants to create one-of-a-kind garments for one-of-a-kind people, one-of-a-kind bodies. It's a brand that wants to change the fashion industry and make it more sustainable. Like I'm like I just would love to save the world. I would just love like all this environmental shit that's going on. I just like want to be able to contribute and change the industry so like the world can heal and so that people's values are like shifted on things that like really matter, like being happy in what you're wearing, buying what's good for the environment, you know, expressing yourself, being body positive.
Yeah.
All those things. So that's what I'm really big on. So
cool.
That's what the brand is about. Yeah.
That's cool. I respect that. That's something that I would really love to see. I'd love to see for sure. Because I on my personal Instagram, I actually just like had this big conversation. I just put it up in my story, and I just kind of like asked people like, what do you guys go for? What do you want for a brand and stuff like that? And a lot of people weren't really sure. A lot of people are like, nah, we don't support fast fashion and stuff like that. So if there's like, to me, it's not obvious. Like there's a single brand that's like, we are specifically about ethically sourced fabrics and ethically sourced material that is good for everybody and all that. So I think that'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that those kind of brands are starting more and more right now. It is difficult to find brands where everything's 100% sustainable, just because within the industry, like, and suppliers and stuff, you don't find a lot that are ethically sourced or, you know, made sustainably. And then another thing that I think is pretty fresh is like, lost my train of thought.
Something else that you thought was fresh?
Yeah, I'm like, shit, okay, where was it going? I was thinking about like the whole dead stock idea and like using fabrics from suppliers that like are kind of getting rid of it anyways. I don't think a lot of people really know about that step when they're purchasing clothes from a brand. So they'll be like, oh, like it's made sustainably, or oh, like they pay the workers a good wage. Like, you know, and then if you look into it, a good wage means like 50 cents more than the average like person is making in that country. And then it also means like, yeah, it's like sustainably made because like it's only 50% cotton and polyester blend. Like instead of like, it's just like little things brands will put on. So it's like really deceiving.
Right. How do you us as a consumer sift through that bullshit and find something that is legitimately like good?
Like I would just say it's research right now, at least.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of research. And then I think it's just kind of picking the best option for you, because a lot of the time, like you can't spend $300 on a piece, right? Like that's when you're young and you know, that's not sustainable for you financially.
Of course.
So it's finding that happy medium and just maybe spending, like waiting to spend that money on like some like one thing instead of buying like 6 things from like super cheap place, and then they fall apart in like a month, and then you're like, ah, shit, I gotta do it again. Because if you add all those costs up, you're like, it's the same amount as buying like 2 really nice pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
And as a brand, like when you want to be sustainable, you gotta really find those resources. You gotta hold on to them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it's also about communicating it, right? Like some brands that are the most sustainable, they aren't on a big enough scale to be accessible to everybody, or like nobody knows about them yet. But it'll happen. The whole industry is shifting. I swear.
You think so? What?
I hope so.
You hope so.
I think so for sure.
Right. I think that communication is the most important thing here, right? If it's not obvious to us as consumers that they're like genuinely making an effort, not just 50 cents more than the next place, then they should tell us so we know. So we'll be more inclined to buy from them.
Totally. And I think it's also about education too, because if you don't know that like the fashion industry is one of the biggest polluters in like the world, like you're not gonna like be thinking about that. You're gonna be like, oh, like let me like just think about oil and like gas and stuff. Like, you know, people need to like make sure they're applying those like that mindset on every industry they're spending their money on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't want to know that every time I wash my clothes, the fabrics are going into the streams and the lakes and the oceans and blah, blah, blah.
And it's so depressing too. It's like there needs to be a way to just like not for it not to be a buzzkill, but like I guess if it's not, like you're not going to change. Like people aren't going to like buy sustainably if they're like happy about the pollution, I guess. But
yeah, it's like, it's so tricky.
It's sad. It is tricky. It's tricky, but yeah, it just comes down to like education and like telling your friends when you find a cool brand that like is sustainable, or you know, finding repurposed brands. Repurposed is a good keyword to look for because it means it comes from something that was already made.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'd love to at some point. My goal for my like wardrobe is that I'd love to have all the pieces of my clothing be like singular. What I mean is like it's not available to buy like off the rack at like some sort of store. You know what I mean? If each piece could be individual and unique, that'd be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that comes with like kind of like shopping local and supporting like local businesses and smaller businesses, because those are the ones that are really producing that one of a kind stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible to be on a huge scale and have something and create such unique things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I actually went to a Levi's store back in the fall or something like that. Yeah. And I managed to score this. It was a women's denim jacket with like faux like leopard print fur on the inside, and it's so sick. It's so sick. Cool. And because we don't have like, it was the final one there, and there's no Levi stores here. I love wearing it because it's so one of a kind.
Nobody has it. That's awesome.
It's awesome. It's great. It's so sick. I think, do you find that like animal patterns are tacky, or do you find them to be like cool?
I think they come and go a little bit. Like it depends which ones you're into.
Right.
But if you like it, just wear it, you know? Like
right.
I was on the bus, I think a while ago, and I saw this old lady like rocking leopard print with like zebra print, and I was just like, I was like, wow, you're inspirational. I love it.
There you go.
I don't really think anything's like that tacky, because I think that it can be like ironic. Like, you know, you can wear like some ugly ass shit and be like, yo, but I fuck with it, so this is the look.
True. And that's kind of where like dad shoes came from too, right? It started as an irony thing, and then it turned
totally
to like, and Crocs too.
I have a pair of Monarchs. He's like all last summer. Those were my go-to shoes. I was in the airport once, and some guy behind me was like, yo, nice dad shoes. I was like, whoops.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's awesome. So let me see. I think I covered all the questions that I had actually for you. I wanted to get into this new kind of segment here, though. I wanted to kind of ask you what your favorite kind of like local places were for a certain amount of things, certain types of things, I should say. So first place is going to be the most obvious. What's your favorite place to get some new clothes?
New clothes? Myself?
Yeah.
No, vintage or thrifted.
Vintage, okay.
Yeah. But to be honest, like, I don't really buy new clothes a lot. And
Not
also, it's been like, it's not very often, no. And it's been like Corona season, so like,
right.
everything's closed. Also, so I work for a brand called Frankie Collective.
Okay.
And so we get a vintage, or we get everything we get is like vintage. Anyways, and then we cut it up and sew to other things. Or the owner, he also owns a store in town called Eppes and Frank, which is also just like vintage clothes.
Right.
And so I'll kind of like pick and choose certain things and be like, oh, like, yo, how much for this? How much for this? Like, that's my go-to shopping, which is like not helpful to everybody else, but it's great for me. That's like the only way I've been buying clothes lately.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, if I worked in a clothing shop, I'd probably do the same thing. Actually, I did have this one other question. How have you find that the fashion sort of like choices have changed of people in Kelowna versus Vancouver?
Oh, what a question. I think that here it's a lot more competitive in a way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like I feel like here, like I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but I feel like I've noticed a lot of people are like chasing the dream here.
Okay.
Or like chasing like to be the baddest bitch, or chasing to like, be on top. And so I think that has people really going there with the whole like, let me buy the designer, let me buy the, I don't know, like all the cool newest things, and like let me do some like plastic surgery, let me like, where's the waist trainer at, like competitive in that way, like.
Right.
And I think that people are really falling into those like beauty standards and beauty norms and stuff like that. And then in Kelowna, I honestly didn't really notice the fashion scene.
You're hilarious.
But like,
that's totally fair. I think that's totally fair.
Everywhere you go, there's gonna be some super, super hype, like super cool dressers, or like some like hype beasts, like all those people. And like in Kelowna, there's definitely like some really well dressed people, but then there's also like just a lot of people who don't give a shit.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then another thing about Vancouver too is that there's like, because I'm from such a small town, so here I feel like there's a few different scenes.
Right.
So you'll have like some really cool like alternative dress people, and then you have like like, so there's just a lot more variety here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but have you seen what's that new dating show on Netflix?
Oh, which is that?
The one, I don't even know what it's called, but it's this one on Netflix, and they go and they can't have sex for like the whole month. Anyway, so one of the, like, they're introducing the contestants, right?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, like that person's from the UK. Okay, cool. Like that person's from here. And then all of a sudden this chick walks out, and I'm like, yo, she looks like she's from Ban. And it says her name and then DC underneath. And then like, I don't know, like right before the last episode, she's like, yeah, like so-and-so want to come back to Vancouver with me. And I was like, yo, I called it. Like, I've seen so many girls that look like you, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just crazy how like this area is so branded. Like there's a lot of the same kind of vibe.
Really? What was she wearing?
She had like, the fake lashes, which I love. I get fake lashes all the time.
Sure.
Like lip injections, like the long hair, like looked like a baddie. Just looked like a baddie, which is like great. It's a great look. But I was like, you look like a Vancouver baddie, so like I don't even know how to describe it.
That's
like,
hilarious.
She was wearing a bathing suit, so it was literally just her face.
Damn, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I love
good.
that you can call that out. That's so sick.
Yeah, and I looked her up too, and she's like this huge influencer. So like, that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
setting
that's
the
trend. Do you wish that there were any like European trends or any other trends that wish that they could be brought over here? Or do trends not even matter to you? Is that something that you just don't really take care of?
I think trends matter. Like, I'm wearing like some acid wash sweats right now. Like, that's really in. But I like just did these because I was just bored one day and wanted to try it out.
Do your thing.
Yeah, like, I think in terms of trends, it's just like picking the ones that you liked even before they were a trend, because they all run on cycles.
Yeah. And
so it depends how you look at fashion. Like, maybe you'll get a little bit before like the mainstream gets it, but eventually it just goes away. Like, like how those pants with the lace up sides used to be really like, everybody's like, I want the lace up like pants. And then all of a sudden you see people with their whole ass out, and the lace up is like the whole pant and there's like no denim and you're just like, okay,
Right.
that's extreme. And then it's done. Like not a lot of people wear that anymore.
Right.
Or like same with like ripped up things, like you'll have the tasteful amount, which people still wear. But then like I remember a couple years ago, there was rips on the back a lot too. And I was like, how is that comfortable? So
yeah.
For me with trends, I think it's just like picking the ones you like and just really sticking with them and enjoying them before they're a trend, after they're a trend, you know?
Right.
But yeah, in terms of like our European trends, I like the simplicity of it and I like how delicate like the Parisian vibe is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it would. Well, I don't know if I really need it to be here. Because if it's here, then maybe I won't like it as much.
True.
Like,
yeah.
what?
It's kind of like a grass is greener kind of situation.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to go to Europe. It's so classy. Nobody cares about how people dress. They're so like, ooh. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to get them and be like, I'm bored. Or like, you know, you'll get used to it. Like, but everywhere has like, everywhere you like. And then all of a sudden, like, you'll get sick of it. So it's just like enjoying what you have when you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It's just funny thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say though, I feel like I just keep on spiraling and like rambling. But I will say that the 2000 trends, like I know that that's like, it is a trend obviously, but I love it. But that's because like I've been trying to wear my thong outside my pants for years and now I can.
Oh man, I can't believe that a lot of that stuff is coming back. I actually just watched this video on Juicy Couture and I'm like, I
want that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you actually about Juicy. I was gonna be like, what do you think that's...
I think I want to fucking wear Juicy every day. Like shit, I love sweatsuits. No, it also is like pretty ugly though. It's a little ugly sometimes for sure.
But that's kind of the thing though, right? Like sometimes things have to be ugly for them to be sick.
Yeah, or like weird, like those glasses, like I don't even know when that was, like early 2000s, like the Kanye glasses that have like the shutters.
Yeah,
those are stupid. Those are so stupid.
Yeah, but
it was super hot back then. Like
it was.
Yeah, so I think that happens a lot though with trends. Hey.
Right. Yeah. I would honestly, I'm just so not a fan of Juicy Couture's look though. Like the all velour kind of thing. All velour. Yeah, and just like
I think I get that. I think I used to not really like it too much. Then one day it hit me and I ordered a suit off of Amazon and I was like, that'll do, I guess.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, it is what it is though, mate. I have no role in denying people's forms of expression. You should do honestly, just don't give a shit about what I think. Just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what I think. So
that's what I think. But like, I'm also super opinionated. Like, you know, you see things and you're like, that is disgusting. But rock it. Yeah.
Right. No, what are some trends what are some looks that you think should die?
Die?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's a few though, for sure. It's hard to think of them on the spot. Trends that should die. I don't really like tie-dye.
No?
No, and I think that's terrible because tie-dye is super cool. But I don't really like tie-dye things. I like the acid wash thing, which makes no sense because it's almost the same.
Right.
But I wouldn't want tie-dye to die. I don't know. Let me think.
I feel like tie-dye was really like popular a couple of years ago, and at this point it's kind of fading out. I don't really see it that much anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's also, I'm here in Kelowna, also quarantined, so like what the hell do I know?
Right, like it's weird because like I'll be seeing trends on like I got TikTok.
Yeah.
Like not recent anymore, but it's still fresh. Right. And there's so many funny like little like tutorial trends on there, and so I see everybody tie-dyeing all their clothes. And sometimes it's super sick, but then sometimes I get like flashbacks to like my childhood when everybody wear the ponchos and the tie-dye, and I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah. Oh. No, I'm going to take that back. Tie-dye shouldn't die. I just don't really like it.
Okay.
What about you? Maybe if you say something to like jot my memory.
See, my opinion is that like I just don't have such a dislike for something that it should go away, because if I don't like it, I'm just not going to wear it and it just disappears out of my head.
Or you just won't even notice it. Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've never liked zip up hoodies. I just never thought they were cool.
Those are hard to enjoy.
Yeah.
Until recently, I started wearing like a hella big one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because like only for the regulating heat aspect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I could think of more trends that I like than trends that I don't like.
That's a good mindset.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention to things I don't like, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But.
I think it's good to know what you don't like, but I think it's also good to not pay attention to it too much.
Yeah, I don't think about it too much.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to like just asking your opinion on things, I wanted to ask you like your favorite place to get clothes. Then what are your favorite place to like get food? Say like lunch, dinner kind of thing.
Anywhere local. There's this spot right down, like literally like 4 buildings from my house. That's like Vietnamese. I love it. I can't remember what it's called, but I just like walk into places that look kind of like I could get sick, but kind of like clean enough.
Okay.
And I'm like, that'll probably be a good place. Like, it's super, super weird. I don't like to eat at anywhere that's like a franchise unless it's only because I need cheap food.
Okay.
But like if I'm going for a meal, it's always like somewhere local, some food I can't make at home.
Right.
A lot of the time, like Vietnamese or like sushi, obviously.
Sushi's
Mongolian,
amazing.
Korean, literally anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't eat out a lot though. I just think I like to cook.
What kind of food do you like making at home?
Well, lately it's been like I had this little Asian like grocery store across the street, and I can't really read the labels, so I just grab like the sauces that look good and I just throw them on like some stir fry with like some rice noodles and like a really thin steak and like some veggies, and it just always turns out so good.
Oh, you can't go wrong with their sauces though. They're always good.
No, right? And the spice, I love the spices. Like,
yeah,
always good. Yeah.
Right.
What else? I've been really getting into seafood lately, but I think that's because I'm on the coast.
Yeah.
So I like to cook that.
Oh, I love seafood. I wish I could have more of it.
Yeah, and like, cause I'm from the prairies, right? So like, I grew up being like, oh, that's not that good, and like here I am now, and I'm like, I want it all.
It's because it's fresh. Where you're at, it's fresh.
Yes, and you can notice the taste for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas here in Kelowna, you can get some pretty decent seafood. I went to Kamloops to get some sushi. Not good. Don't do that.
No, I don't know. It's really that great in Kamloops.
Yeah, nah. But seafood's so good, though. I wish I could eat more fish. But are you much of a dessert person?
I love donuts.
You love donuts? Where do you get donuts from?
When I first moved here, I tried to go to every single donut spot. I would say my favorite's the one on the island. Oh, I think it's like Lee's Donuts or something like that. Or, sorry, Granville Island, not Vancouver Island. Granville Island, I think it's called like Lee's Donuts or something like that. But it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Sick.
What else?
Let me see here. It was supposed to be like... Yeah, I don't really have too many others. I was trying to... I like to just be really spontaneous with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, quick ones?
Yeah, but like it really did not work out.
No, only because I think I can't think on the spot so quick. Unless we do like 1-word responses, like first thing that comes to your mind. Like I can maybe do that. Right. But no.
Nah,
I've been like quarantining so much that like I don't even remember what the real world's like.
I know. I'm just like getting takeout from the same places all the time just because like nothing else is open.
Right?
And then I'm just at home. The real world doesn't exist.
It's crazy how this whole quarantine thing is affecting everything.
Yeah, how's it been affecting you?
I think, well, I'm still working full-time, like, at my job.
Right.
So, I've been busy, but from what I know, or, like, what I've seen with, like, the brand that I work for, and mine as well, I think people are spending more money because they're bored.
I could see that.
Yeah, like people are maybe making less money, but they're spending more online for sure.
Well, people are getting all their checks, right? Like,
true.
They don't have to necessarily go and pay for gas as often.
Nobody's partying.
Yeah, everybody's just like staying at home, just browsing the internet, probably, and window shopping and buying stuff.
Literally.
But apparently, a ton of people are like paying off debts and like hoarding a ton of their money. Apparently, that's what I've been reading online.
That's good. Wow, the rent must be cheap.
Well, everybody's gonna do like rent assistance
Oh,
as well, right?
right. Oh my gosh, there's so many money to have. I keep on forgetting about that stuff because I'm kind of like in my own little like in between quarantine and like regular life world because like I'm working, but I don't really go anywhere aside from like work in my house.
Right.
So I'm like, what's going on? And people are telling me all these things. I'm like, wow, you're like have so much time for hobbies. It's amazing. I'm jealous.
Do you work from home?
No. I go down and work. We did a studio schedule so that there's only like 3 people in the studio at a time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and we all work in kind of our own little corner. So.
Gotcha.
Yes. So we stay safe. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't really have any other questions for you, Bede. Do you have any more for me at all?
Yeah. How long have you been doing your podcast for?
Started in 2018, took a break in 2019, and then I'm going strong now. So yeah.
Dope. That's awesome.
I would say collectively like a year and a half, but altogether like 2.5 years.
Cool. That's sick. Good job. Also, I just remembered, I just got the little like ding on my phone that it's supposed to die because I've been using the Zoom on my phone. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go do your thing then. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Well, I think I got 10%, so it's not too bad. But yeah. We can end it. It's cool.
No worries. Did you have any other final words for all the people out there?
Yeah, I guess. If they want to stay up to date with my cool, fun tutorials that I'm going to be happening, like, follow me at @designsbybede.com. Or, @designsbybede on Instagram or designsbybede.com. Either or. What else? Yeah, I'm going to be releasing some new stuff coming up soon, so that's really exciting.
Sick. Make sure that you all follow her so that you all know.
Yeah, please.
Hell yeah. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really appreciate your time and everything.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully I adequately answered those questions.
Nah, you're great. You're good.
Cool.
No, it was all good.
Cool.
And thank you so much to everybody else for listening. I appreciate your time. And make sure that you follow Bede on her Instagram. Go onto her website, buy her clothes, and follow us For the Culture Canada on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell so you know when we upload. And my friends keep on making fun of me for saying that all the time, but whatever. And then... yeah, it is what it is. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.